Good morning, everyone. I hope you had an awesome weekend, and I really enjoyed your positive things that you did in this past week. So many of you talked about having fun riding your bike. I thought, well, I'm going to do this week's intro video in my bike helmet. Safety first. I also love riding my bike, and when you're riding your bike, I hope you are also wearing your helmet. This week is going to be a little different. Last week we introed what a controlled experiment was, and you learned about a pendulum experiment. And this week you are going to choose your own experiment to do, and you're going to attempt to carry out your own controlled experiment. So your direction sheets are going to look slightly different than in previous weeks. So the big difference is that you're going to have to do things in order. And you also are going to have to stop along the way so to make sure that you are doing things correctly. So here's a look at what the directions are going to look like. You can see that it's very clear that we want to do this in order. First, you're going to watch an Edpuzzle about variables, the difference between an independent, dependent, and a controlled variable. And then you're going to watch a little intro to our project made by Mrs. Stum and myself. You should be excited about that. It's excellent. And then you're going to get to, we have about 10 projects for people to choose from, and the list should be linked here. They are all related to force and motion, so all physical science, and they require either little to no materials at all, or you can use things that you have around the house, recycled things, kids' toys. Lots of different things can be used for these projects. But even if you're like, I have no materials whatsoever, there's even one on the list that requires just a stopwatch and your body. So you should be good to go. And then you're going to go through each step. So the first thing is we need to come up with a question, which is basically your experimental question, your does blank affect blank. And then you're going to complete the question assignment in Schoology. That's where I need you to stop. Make sure you stop here and get satisfactory from me before you move on. And then you're going to go through the next couple of steps in the scientific method process. You're going to create a hypothesis, write a materials and procedure for your experiment, and if you finish those for this week, you're considered satisfactory. However, this week we also encourage you to move on to doing the actual experiment. So you're going to watch a video called Conducting the Experiment, and then as you do your experiment, you are going to be filling out a data table with the data that you are collecting. And make sure if you are experimenting this week that you take lots of pictures and video clips so you can add those to your final project, which will be in next week. This is a 2-week project, so numbers 11 and 12 and 13 will also show up in next week's directions. So if you do them this week, you'll already have a head start for next week. It's going to look like this in Schoology. Obviously your directions, and we're just going to go down the line. You can see number 1, I clearly haven't put number 2 in there, that's the Mrs. Stum in my video. Edpuzzle and then the assignment. Edpuzzle and then the assignment. So it you should see that pattern go throughout. And like I said, if you have done 1 through 10, that is satisfactory for the week, but I also encourage you to start doing your experiment. The other difference for this week, we will not be holding a Zoom class where I'm going to be reviewing something or teaching something. Instead, I will be on Zoom from 2 to 3 p.m. on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So if you want to check in with me, you may. This would be a great time if you are working on something and you're stuck, and this is a chance for you to just kind of call in and ask a question. It'd kind of be like if you're in the middle of class and you just want to, check in and ask something specific about your project. Or if you just want to come in and say hello. So I will have those links up again Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 2 to 3. Have a great week. Stay safe. Wear your helmet when you ride your bike. and have a great week.